Hi everyone, welcome to another tutorial on production SaaS setup and app hosting guide with Coolify. As you know, in this comprehensive mini crash course, I'm trying to cover everything you need to know to host your SaaS application into production using Coolify. In the last two videos, we did some brief course revisions, what we are going to cover, and we discussed about our production server architecture. And in the last session, we also bought and hosted two servers from Kamatera Cloud. In the last video, I have also shared you the $100 free Kamatera Cloud VPS credit using the affiliate link. So in case if you haven't got it from the community yet, you will also get this link as part of this video using the link that should be somewhere in the description. So that link will contain all the script that we'll be using and the resources and the affiliate link also. So make sure you use the link and download everything that you need as part of this course. In this video, we will set up the servers and apply the security hardening as you should do for your production server as well. So without wasting any more time, let's jump into the screen and let's start. So now I am into my screen and we will quickly provision all the servers and we will start setting it up. Now, just to give you a quick recap, because I have covering this topic almost after 1 or 2 weeks. So what we did was in the last two sections was we defined our core structure, and then we have also defined our server architecture where we said that we will use a three server topology where we will run the Coolify server into one host, and then we will also use two different application server. And if you remember, we have actually bought two servers or rented two servers from Kamatera, one for the Coolify server and another for the application server. Now, since I was not using the servers for last 2 weeks, as I was busy with some other work, what I have done is I have turned off the server to save some cost. And so what I've done today before just starting the tutorial, I have spin up the app server, not the Coolify management server. Why? I'll tell you in a minute. So what we will do now is we will actually buy another application server and we will actually host the Coolify application in one of the application server for now, because we do not need to buy three servers at the moment. And maybe in future, I will buy another server and just show you the setup, right? So the another reason why I stopped the Kamatera server is because I found this really awesome deal that Hostinger is providing right now, whereas you can actually get 8 GB of RAM and two virtual CPU core machine only for $599 per month, but there's a catch that you have to take a 24-month term. This is already 60% off, and this is really a powerful machine that you can use to host your application or some agents or whatever you want to do in this or whatever app that you want to host. And the best part is if you use my referral code, you get additional 20% discount on top of the price. And actually, I need a server for one of the production application that I wanted to host in next few days or weeks as I am working on it as part of the SaaS course. So I'm actually going to buy it now and I'm going to show you how this is going to save you so much money. So yes, if you need one server, please make sure use the link and get this discount, because this discount is a Black Friday discount, so it's gonna go away anyway in next 2 days. Okay, so if you see now, it's going to be 24 months. If you take the 24 months period, the price should have been £360, whereas it's already £115, and we are getting 68% discount. So it was 60% discount earlier, and then on top of that, with my code, you will get another 20% referral discount. Now, what I'm going to do is in the resource, I'm going to keep all the affiliate links. So like the Kamatera affiliate link, I have already kept it as part of the tutorial too. That will give you $100 VPS credit. You can use it for this tutorial, any other testing that you are doing, or if you want to host any app, you can use that. And also if you want to use this Hostinger flash sale for the Black Friday, please make sure to use that, because this is the best deal that I have seen in recent times when it comes to hosting a VPS, because usually an 8 GB VPS will roughly cost you as minimum as 10 to 12 pound per month, whereas this is just costing me what, £4. So this is really a good deal. Again, I'll add the link and my referral code here as part of the resources. And all these resources you should be able to download from the link in the description of the video. Now, with that said, let's proceed and let me complete by a server. Okay, so now I have bought the servers. So let's set up the server quickly. So it's a good option to add a SSH key as well, but we will do it later, not an issue. Okay. Now this will take some moment when the VPS will be set up. By the time I'll prepare the other server, which is I have hosted in Kamatera. So that's the server that I have hosted through Kamatera and that we are going to use. And here we are going to just connect to the server. We'll open the remote host server and we are inside the server. As you can see, this is also set up. So we will go ahead to our terminal and we'll try to log in into the server. So what we need to do as the next step is we need to apply some security hardening to both of the servers. And that's what we will do very quickly. We are into the servers. So this is the hostinger one and this is the Kamatera one. Now what we need to do is we need to copy a script that I have already created, which is called harden server. Now I'm just going to quickly run through what this script is doing so that you understand. So basically you need to run the script like this, and this script will be available in the resource section. So make sure you just click that link and download it. It's just going to set a backup admin user. You can change the password. That's fine. If you do not change it, that's also not an issue, because the first time you log in using this user, it will ask you to change the password. We are running this apt update and upgrade so that our server is updated and upgraded. And then we are doing all the security patches. So we are installing fail to ban UFW, which is a kind of a firewall, and all these bits. So fail to ban will help you protect from brute force attack. So we are installing all those security patches and tools. Then we are setting up our SSH keys. This is going to set up all the SSH config and everything for you. And then it's going to restart the services, and it's going to also update all these sysctls for different type of system hardening. So it's going to set up some parameters there as well. So yeah, it's basically a comprehensive script that does all the basic level of security hardening that we must do when we actually buy any server. Okay, whether you are doing it for production or not, you should do it anyway. Okay, so what we can do here is just do Control Shift I. What happens as a result is both. So if I type a command, that will be executed in both the server. So I don't have to like type it again and again. If you are using iTerm, then it's Command Shift I in Mac. What we will do is first we'll just copy this. Going to paste it. Our script is ready in both the server, as you can see. Right. So what we have to do, I'm just gonna disable this, and we will create a in my MacBook. So this is my MacBook host. Here what we will create is we will create one SSH key basically that we will use to log in from the next time onwards. We're not going to use the root credential basically. So for that, what you can do is go to this instruction, and then from here you copy this particular command. Now make sure you run it on your host machine, not on the server, because your host machine should have the private key, and you should update the public key in your server. Your private key should be kept safe. So basically you should not ever give this private key to or share the private key to anyone else. Whoever will have the private key will be able to access to your server. So that is why your private key has to be there in your own desktop or in your own Mac. Now we are going to run this, and we are going just going to update the email address there, which is support@nottogether.com. And here we are going to use the file as Coolify tutorial. Now you don't need to do that. If you are doing it for the first time, you can keep it as all like default, but I have a couple of actually SSH file because I do have multiple servers that I actually access with different private keys. So that's why I'm just creating it. And this is asking if I need a passphrase. For any production server, I usually use a passphrase, but this is just for tutorial. I'm only going to delete all this setup after the tutorial is done. So I'm just gonna go ahead without a passphrase. Now, as I do that, if I go there, you will see that I will have the public key and the private key. I hope this is visible. So I'm just going to do a bit of zoom in for you. Yeah, this is the private key and this is the public key. Now, next step, what we need to do again, if you are lost, you can actually use these instructions that I have kept here as well. So you can just follow along the instruction simply. Now the instruction says now you have to execute this command. And when you execute this command, you should just replace the public key here. So that means whatever public key that we have here, I can just do a cat. So we have got this public key. So now what I can do is just copy this, and then I'm just going to close this window and then again do Control Shift so that I can execute the script. And I'm just first going to give some execution permission to this particular script, and then I'm going to run bash, or you can do dot slash, anything is fine, and then harden server.sh, and then we have to give the username. You can give it any name, and then what we have to use is -k public key. So -k, and then we just paste the public key that we have copied from our local MacBook or local machine, and then we are just going to give the server name, and this is where both the server will have separate name. Now I'm just gonna again do give Shift Control I so that we come out of this dual interactive mode, and then here we give -h, we name it. So in the Commodore server we are going to host our Coolify, the hostinger one we are going to host our apps going forward. So what we will do is just name it Coolify Manager, and this one will just say Coolify App Server, and then we are going to hit enter. So again Control Shift I and hit enter, and this should take a few minutes of time, and it should set up everything for you, like all the SSH key and everything else. So let's give it some time, and then I'll be back when the setup is completed. There was some issue with running the script. Yeah, I know what has happened. I think use the script username is different than whatever is the backup admin user, and I should have actually noted it. So I'm just gonna reset it back to DevOps admin. So when you create or when you run the script first time with this command, use a username which is not DevOps admin or backup admin or whatever. Just use any other name and it will work. I think that's what we did wrong when we executed the script, and that's why it started failing. Now, just to be clear here, so the username that you will use to log in into the server, and DevOps admin is the backup user. So in case you disable the root login, and let's say you have somehow lost your private key, how would you log in back? And that is why we have created DevOps admin, so that you can use the DevOps admin and the password to actually log in. And then when you use the DevOps admin to log in, you can actually use the password login. And that's what we are making an exception somewhere here. Here, if you see, we are putting an exception that password authentication is no, but if it is backup admin user, then please make sure that the password authentication is yes, basically. So that's good. Now what we need to do is we need to use the DevOps user where we have set up the authorized key, right? Now we are going to actually modify our local system SSH config so that we can use private key authentication to log in into this server. How do we do that? Again, we will go to .ssh. So if you're in Windows and you use putty, in the putty there is an option to use private key file. So just set the private key file there and you should be able to log in. If you're on Mac, we are just going to make it a bit easy. So I'm just going to go to cd.ssh, and here we are going to open this. We're going to use this private key basically. So we are copy, just going to open the config, and here, let's say here we will set, let's copy this part. So let's name it Coolify, and then the IP is, so Coolify will be running on this machine. So we'll just need the public IP here, put it there, and the user is DevOps, and the ID is, what was identity file? Tutorial, right? So that's what we will use here. Same thing, just copy again, and this will, I'll say app server, and here we will set this, but this is going to be our app server. So that's the public IP. I'm going to set that there, and that's it. Now let's try. So let's try SSH app server, And there you go. We are now able to log in with our private key. We don't need any password anymore. So that means the setup is all good. Um, so our service is set up. The next step is to install our Coolify application. So Coolify, as you know, is a PHP Laravel application, and the best part is the developer have created a bash script, which if you just run, and you have to run it as root. As of now, when I'm recording this video, we have the root access with the DevOps user that we have created. Another thing that I want you to try is just try this two command when you log in first time using the SSH key. So this will make sure that all the script that we have run previously, it's all done properly. So you should see zero upgrade, zero remove actually. So that means the script that we have run in the last step have done all the work properly. So I'm just going to run this same here as well, and just copy this and run it here as well. There you go. So our servers are all showing zero. That means the script run properly in the last step. So next step is just take this, go into our Coolify server. We don't need the app server. We'll just close it for now. All we will work here for now and just run it. We have to run it as root as it says. So we'll just sudo su this thing, and you do not need password. We have done all those settings so that we do not. It will take around 5 minutes or so, and then it will install the Coolify. It will actually download Docker and all the other bits that it needs to run, and then it will just start it. And there you go. The Coolify is installed. We can access it via 800 port, and hopefully we see the screen. That means Coolify is installed and ready to serve. Now, this is not really good to have your application be able to, you are able to access via HTTP, not HTTPS, and also the port is also showing through the browser. So you definitely do not want your server management software to be available like this, right? So in a production setup, you want a proper domain name that needs to be used here, and a proper HTTPS setup. And for that, we need a domain name. Now there are two ways you can do it. So one is a free domain that you can use if you do not want to spend money in it. For that, what you need to do is just search for DDNS. So DDNS or dynamic DNS is, you can use the no IP and just register a domain there. That will be completely free, but every month you have to basically do a manual check that you are still using the domain. So they will send you an email which you need to confirm. However, fortunately, I have a spare domain just living there because I was working for an app idea, and I'm just going to use that domain basically for this purpose of the demo. And as you can see, this domain viddescriptor.com. So this is a domain that I have bought some time back, but I haven't actually used it. uh, what we need to do also at the same time is we will migrate the domain later on to Cloudflare. And if you don't know what is, so Cloudflare actually gives you a bunch of different security feature that we definitely want to use with our domain and server. For example, some kind of brute force attacks and stuff that you can actually use a Cloudflare to save your app from. Plus, Cloudflare is a CDN, so that means your site will be much faster and available because they will cache your static content in different locations. So we will later on move into Cloudflare, maybe the next video. But for this video, we will be here and we will be pointing this domain to the Coolify server. So let's do step by step. So first thing first, we will actually need to do a registration. So I'll just quickly do a registration there, and then we're just going to get started, and then we'll again click next. And in this instance, first we are going to add the local host we'll set up, and then we will set up the remote server, which is our app server. Ideally, if you see our diagram, you might get confused that we always need to just set up the app remote server, right? But that's not the case. You first need to set up the local server. We will set up all the required reverse proxy and all these bits. We'll have to make sure our Coolify is secure. Only then we'll go to the application server. We'll connect the application server and we'll make it secure as well. So that's fine. We'll just select localhost, and as you can see, it has been able to just connect it, and that's good. Sometime, and as I have faced it before, so sometime what happens is you get some error if you're on different system Linux. If you face that, all you need to do, and I have added that as a documentation, is just run this command. So what this command does is it changes the Docker compose file. So basically the Coolify runs as a Docker container. So all you had to do is just add this host or docker.interlearn with this IP into the Docker Compose file, and then it actually works. But in this case, as you have seen, it was just working fine. So that's really good. Now we need to set the Coolify domain. So we will go to the settings, and here you see the instance domain. Here we will set the domain. Now we'll just copy the domain name from here, and then we come here and we set it up here, right? And then give it a name. So I'm just gonna say tutorial Coolify. I'm just gonna say cool tutorial together. You can just name it anything really. And then this is the instance IP, which is good. So we just need to copy this IP, and what we need to do is we need to go to our domain settings, and we will actually edit our settings here. So for this domain, for viddescriptor.com, we don't want to set the Coolify actually here. We will set it as maybe manager.viddescriptor.com. And this is where the audio got corrupted in the original recording, and this has been the issue with Loom these days whenever I'm recording some long videos. As you can see, this video was almost around 50 minutes long by this time as I was just recording it. So anyway, what I had to do is I had to give a voiceover in the editing process to complete the tutorial. So please bear with that and complete the next part of this tutorial. If you have any question or confusion, write me down in the comments. And if you're getting any value out of it, or if you're learning something new, please give it a like, because that would mean so much to me, and that would also help me understand your learning need as well. With that said, let's proceed to the rest of the tutorial with my voiceover. And this is where we have to add the manager record into our DNS settings. So I will just I'll just add the manager as an alias there, as an A record, and then I had to point the IP. So we'll just copy the IP that you can see it from here, and just copy it to this point to section, and then click confirm. And that should add an A record so that the manager.viddescriptor.com will now point to this particular server, this particular Coolify instance. In regards to the update settings, you can see the automatic update. If you are running some production server, you should actually turn off this particular automatic update, because we are using it just for the tutorial or demo. We'll keep it on, but please make sure you turn it off in production settings, because if you see, the Coolify is on beta version, so you will have a lot more changes coming in, and you don't want your production server management software to get crashed because of some update, right? So please turn it off in your production setup. And don't forget to hit that save button to save whatever settings that you have done here. And now we will come to the server section, and we'll hit the localhost, because we are setting up the localhost. And now we'll focus on setting up our proxy. One of the thing that is really important in this section is wildcard domain. So yeah, wildcard domain is like when you have star dot the actual domain name. So that means, you know, in a wildcard domain, when you set this here, what Coolify will do is it will issue a certificate for this root domain. That means any new app that you will create here, it will create a subdomain. For example, if you host n8n, it will create n8n dot your main domain, which is here viddescriptor.com. And the certificate that it will issue is for star.viddescriptor.com. That means your n8n application will have the SSL TLS coverage automatically. So we will set the wildcard domain here, which is the main domain viddescriptor.com. Now let's go to our proxy settings. As you can see, it's using traffic as proxy. You can use caddy as well, but I like to use traffic because it's used in a lot of the enterprise spaces as well, and it is a reliable proxy as well. There is nothing that we need to do much here, because we have already done the Coolify settings using the settings configurations. All we have to do is just we need to restart the proxy if we need. Otherwise, it should work just fine. So just hit the restart proxy and it should start, and we should be able to access the Coolify using our domain. Sometimes it's a problem, the proxy doesn't start, so you just need to hit the start proxy button there on the right top, which will start the proxy, and you should see the proxy is running in a few minutes of time. Take a quick look if our domain is ready. I still see that the domain is not coming there, so it just may have to wait a few minutes to up to an hour for the domain changes that we have done in our DNS setting to get reflected. And after a few minutes, when I have tried, I can see that the domain is now reflected with the IP. So if we now try and access the domain, it should spin up the Coolify, but it's not coming up. So there must be some DNS issue in my Mac. So let me go ahead and do DNS cache flush that you can do in your local system. So that's what we just need to do as a next step. To actually flush the cache, you need this DNS cache util command, which I will also keep for you into the instruction file. So if you face the same issue, you can use this particular flush cache command, which will flush your DNS cache for your local machine, and that should actually help you fix this issue. And now after flushing the cache, I'm able to see the Coolify login screen. So let me try and do a login quickly. And there you go. I'm able to log in, and we are able to access our Coolify using a custom domain. Now we should disable this IP:/port way of accessing our server management application. So that's what we will do in the next section. So as you can see in the script folder, we have this particular script. This is basically setting our firewall with some IP tables changes. So we will just create another script called firewall.sh, and we will paste the content there, and we will run the script, and this should update the firewall properly, and we should be able to block the 8000 port so that no one would be able to access the 8000 port directly from outside internet or publicly. We just set the script and executable permission, and then we need to run the script using sudo, but I can see that there's a problem with that. This particular file does not exist. That is because we do not have the IP table specific package installed. So we have to install the package if it is not installed. That I have missed in our hardening step. So we will do that right now. And now I have updated the script. So we'll just retake the script and rerun it. So we are opening the firewall script once again and just overwriting with the new script, and we will rerun that script. And as you can see, it is now installing the required module for the IP tables based firewall system. We just hit space, and it should be installed and set up our firewall policies. Now let's give it a test whether we are able to successfully block the port or not. Yeah, but surprisingly, I am still able to access it through 8000 port. Then there must be something wrong. So what I have done is I have quickly done that investigation why this was not working. And when I have checked the IP tables, I could see that we have double entries there. And the reason is because we have actually run the IP tables command 2 times, because in the first time when we have run, it actually did changes the IP table configuration. But because we did not had the IP table softwares or the module installed, that is why it did not work. But when we retook the script and rerun it again, it just added the duplicate entry. And as a result, the blocking of the 8000 port or the similar or the other port that I wanted to block was not working. So as a result, I had to do some more step-by-step procedure to rectify this. But fortunately for you, you do not have to do all of this, because I have now updated the required script in the repository in the resource link. So all you have to do is just copy the relevant script and just run it. And I'm going to show you what you need to do if you face similar issues. So if you see, there is a new script which is called which starts with AI. So I have literally taken help from AI to rewrite the initial script. So what you need to do when you run it in your system is you take this particular firewall script and try and run it. In case if you face the same issue that I have faced, then take the AI script and rerun it, because the AI script will exactly look at your existing firewall configuration and it will update as necessary. So that's how I have done it. Do not need to run the AI script first. You can usually just take the firewall script and run it and it should work for you. Because in our case, we have ran it 2 times. That's why we had faced this issue. You wouldn't face the issue. And now if you see, we have blocked the 8000 port, but we are able to access it through our domain. And this is how you can protect your Coolify installation. The next stuff that you should do is set up your two-factor authentication that will further restrict the Coolify access. And this is something we will cover in more details into the next section, where we'll also add the application server into this Coolify management application. And then we will host some various kind of application, including Docker based application, Next.js application, some full stack other applications, some Python based application. So please stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to like this video if you have learned something from this one. So I'll hope to see you into the next one. Till then, take care and stay active into the community, and peace out.